Welcome to Living in Grace. We're in the book of Romans. We're in chapter 12 and in verse 16. And, what we're going to hear today is learning to get along with others. Learning to be that we're one family. We are one body that we talked about already. And Paul's going to remind them here that we're one team functioning together. One thing about basketball, if you like it or don't like it, Michael Jordan, in the early part of his NBA career, he was very much an individual scorer. He was incredible. I would say the best professional basketball player in history. Even to this day, I don't know anyone greater than Jordan. But one thing he learned, if his team was going to be successful and they were going to win the championship, the world, that it was important for his team to be involved and work together as one team and in unity. You see, it's not an individual, a one-man show cannot defeat a five-man team. And when Michael Jordan understood that principle of getting the team involved, and his coach Phil Jackson was very involved with that, that's when they began to knock off championship after championship after championship. And matter of fact, Jordan became even better then because, he was still scoring and still phenomenal, but he began his assists, his defense, the way he got his team involved was incredible. That is so important in the body of Christ, that we realize it's not an individual one-man show or one-woman show, that we're all in this together. And that's why Paul told the church of Rome in Romans chapter 12 and in verse 16, live in harmony with one another. Live in harmony. Be in the same mind. And we're going to look at some other verses in the next couple of days about what does it mean? How can we live in harmony? What's important about this? And what does Paul continue to say in Romans 12:16? But we're going to look at Philippians 2. We're going to look at Romans 15. We'll look at Psalm 133. But it's essential today that in the body of Christ that we live in harmony. We have the same mind. We have the same goal. We have the same vision. Now, it may not be exactly the same. At times we agree to disagree, and that's going to be part of the human nature. But it's so important in the body of Christ that we work together. It's incredible at times that I try to be very cautious to make sure I don't badmouth another preacher or badmouth another church. Even if we do church differently and they do it differently to us, maybe it's the way they preach or the way they study or the way they worship or the way they sing. I don't want to bash them because we're in this family together. It's not going to benefit Living in Grace or Grace Bible for me to tear down another preacher or tear down another church. That's immature. It's childish. And when I hear that about what we're doing here at Grace, it's aggravating. It just begins like, man, why would you want to tear down another part of your family? It doesn't benefit. Because if we can speak well and bless them, guess what's going to happen? It's going to benefit us and vice versa. So I warn you to just be very careful. If you're part of our church family or part of Living in Grace or at another church family, don't speak bad. Don't bash. We're in this together. Instead, Paul says, live in harmony with one another. Come back tomorrow. We're going to share more about this. You're listening to Living in Grace.